Hello, this is McD the Beast, and this is McD Sports 4 coming to you today with my Wisconsin football predictions for the 2020 college football season. Before I continue, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Please subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciate if you do that. I'm really trying to grow this channel. I want to hit 500 subscribers by August 29th, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, you will not regret it. Wisconsin last year, they made the Rose Bowl and lost and probably one of the classic games of the year. They're hoping to get back there this year and hopefully to win it this year. So let's see if they're going to do that. I'm only giving regular season predictions, so we'll see if they can at least get to the Big Ten championship game against Ohio State. Because if you watch my video so far, I do have Ohio State winning the Big Ten East over Penn State. So let's get into it. We'll start off with things I like about Wisconsin. Phil Chris. I really like Phil Chris. I think he's probably the second most underrated coach in the country behind Mark Stoops at Kentucky. And he top 25 head coach, obviously, probably even top 20, top 15 head coach, honestly. Very good head coach. Always has his team in the right direction, winning games. I really like Phil Chris. O-line. They seem to reload every year at the O-line. Personally, I think that the O-line is probably one of the best in the country, as it is every year. They always have NFL draft prospects on the line, and that's the one strong suit. Also the defense, but I'm only paying two on each side for the purposes of the series we're doing with football predictions. But the defense is going to be really good for Wisconsin as well as an overall unit. What I don't like, the talent. It's not necessarily so much I don't like the talent for Wisconsin. I don't think they're a national championship contender. I think they're a playoff contender, but not a national championship contender. And the reason why I think this is because I just don't think Wisconsin has the Jimmies and Joes to go up against the Georgias, the Alabamas, the Clemsons, even the Ohio States in their own conference. I just don't think that they have the Jimmies and Joes to go up against them. But I think they're definitely a top 15-ish team. And they are a playoff contender. Three toughest games. Your three toughest games are Notre Dame, Michigan, and Minnesota. Notre Dame neutral site game in Lambeau Field. I'm really looking forward to this game. So overall, it's probably one of the top 10 games of the year. Really looking forward to it. I think it's a 50-50 game. Michigan. Now, Grant, I know you guys beat Michigan last year 35-0. Personally, and it's on the road. I think it's going to be much tougher than it was last year for you guys. And then Minnesota, I know last year you went into the snow, beat Minnesota. Was it 38-17 or 38-24? I forget the score. I know you guys hung 38 on them. But I know it's in the jump house this year. But I am really high on Minnesota. I think they can even be better than what they were last year. Three easiest games. Southern Illinois, Northwestern. Southern Illinois, FCS school. Not really going to get much into that one. Illinois, listen, I know you guys lost them last year at the last second field goal on the road. Revenge factor, A, and B. Illinois surprised a lot of people last year. I think they're taking a big step back. You guys get them at home. I think that's your second easiest game. And then Northwestern. I could have gone with a few different schools here, but I went with Northwestern primarily because I just don't think I just don't really think that you guys will have much of an issue against them. I think you guys will honestly have more of an issue against teams like at Mayo and Appalachian State, a Indiana. I think you guys will have more issues against them than you would Northwestern. So that's why I picked Northwestern as your third easiest game. Best and worst case scenario. Your best case scenario is 11-1. Now I know the ESPN FBI has you guys going 12-0. I think you're losing a game somewhere this year. I just do. In the regular season, you guys will lose a game somewhere in the regular season. I'm pretty confident in that. Worst case scenario, 8-4. I don't think you guys will be any worse than 8-4. So and it's primarily because of Phil Chris. So best case scenario 11-1, worst case scenario 8-4. So let's look at the schedule. If you look at the schedule here, your first game is a Friday night game at home in the Jump House against Indiana. Indiana, a lot of people are saying this Indiana team is one of the best Indiana teams they had in 25, 30 years. So personally, I do think that This game's going to be very competitive, but at the end, I am going to give it to Wisconsin. I just think you guys are the better team, especially at home. In the end, I think will give you fits, but you guys will get the victory and start the season off 1-0. Next game, Southern Illinois wins. I'm not going to really get into this one that much. Southern Illinois FCS school, you guys should beat them easily, maybe even pitch a shutout. Next game, Appalachian State. Appalachian State, this is their Super Bowl for them. They're a team that runs through everybody in the Sun Belt except Georgia Southern. You look at they are very high. Everybody's very high on them. They beat North Carolina and South Carolina last year, so they technically would that give them the Carolina Cup? Maybe I don't know if that's a thing or not. I might be making up things on the fly, but I think this game's a competitive game, but at the end, Wisconsin, I think, will beat them by about 2 touchdowns. I give Wisconsin the win over Appalachian State. They're just the better team. Next game, at Michigan. Michigan's one of those teams. I know you guys beat them 35-0 last year. I just feel like this game is going to be much closer than where it was last year. It is in the big house, but still, I think Wisconsin is the better team. I think you guys go in there and beat them. And I think you guys get your first really big win of the season on the road against Michigan. I just think you guys are better than them. You guys probably beat them by a one-possession game. I think this is a one-possession game, the Wisconsin-Michigan game. Next game, Notre Dame neutral site game. Notre Dame, it's a neutral site game. It's in Lambeau Field. I already did the Notre Dame football predictions on Monday. I went back and forth with this one. I think this is a 50-50 game, one possession either way. But I gave it to Wisconsin. The reason why I gave it to Wisconsin is because I think this is technically a home game for you guys. And I think you guys will have the home field advantage, honestly, in this one, since the game is in the state of Wisconsin. So, give me the Badgers over the Fighting Irish. Next game, Minnesota. And before I continue, let me just go on a little rant here. I don't understand why this game is not the last week of the season. I've been noticing that with some of these schedules. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Oklahoma State is another one. Why? Those are rivalry games. Pit those during rivalry week, during the last week. I do not know whoever makes these schedules with the Big 12 or Big 10. I do not know what they're doing. Playing this game in the middle of the season. This game should be the final week of the season, like it should be every year. It's to me one of the best rivalries in college football, one of the most underrated rivalries, probably the most underrated rivalry in college football. It's the oldest one as well. I mean, it's basically a 50-50. I think Wisconsin has a game or two advantage above Minnesota right now, but I mean, overall, I'm very disgusted that this game's in the middle of the season as a college football fan. But anyways, let's get into the game. Minnesota at home last year, you guys beat them on the road in the game that was for the spot in the Big Ten championship game. I went back and forth with this one. I'm very high on Minnesota this year. I almost gave this one to Minnesota, but I gave it to you guys since you're at home and you guys actually beat them last year. That has something to do with it as well. But I think you guys will beat Minnesota this year. And then you go into your bye week. Your bye week's at a perfect time right in the middle of the season. You guys start off the season 6-0. You're probably a top 3-4 score at this point, and a lot of people are starting to talk about Wisconsin can win out. They can go 12-0 going into the Big Ten championship game because their toughest game is going to be Purdue at this point, or Iowa at this point. So coming off the bye week at Maryland. Maryland is a school. I'm actually a Maryland Terps fan. I think we're going to be a lot better than 3-9 this year. I just do. I don't think we're going to be like anything near what Wisconsin's going to be or what they're expecting to be in the Rose Bowl. But I do expect Maryland to get back into a bowl game this year. I think you guys beat us. I know it's in College Park and Maryland, but I think you guys beat us probably by about 2 touchdowns. I think this game is kind of competitive, but there's going to be just no doubt who's the better team and who's winning the game throughout the whole game, and that will be the Wisconsin Badgers, unfortunately being my Maryland Terps. Next game, Illinois. As I said, Illinois, you guys lost them last year, but they surprised a lot of people. Without that win, they wouldn't have not been in a bowl game. I think they lost the Cheez-It Bowl or maybe the Red Box Bowl. They lost one of those two bowls. Illinois also, I think, is taking a major step back this year. And with the game at home, I think revenge is going to be on your mind. I think you guys beat the living dog crap out of them. I think this game's something like 45-7. I don't even think it's close. at the beginning. I think you guys jump out early 14-0, never look back. Give me Wisconsin over Illinois. Next game at Northwestern. This game is actually at Wrigley Field. So I almost put it as a neutral site game. I know how I shouldn't say I'm familiar with the area, but I have been in that area before where Wrigley Field, Northwestern has been. I know it's like a 15-minute drive if that even. So I decided just to say it's a road game, a true road game for Wisconsin, even though I should probably pass a neutral site game because it's not on the campus. But anyways, I think this game is actually usually pretty close every year. I don't know why. I do think Wisconsin wins this game because I just think they're a lot better than Northwestern. But go ahead, give me the Badgers. I think you guys win this game honestly by 7 to 10 points. This game is usually close for some reason though every year. Next game at Purdue. Listen, I said Wisconsin will lose a game at some point throughout the schedule. At some point. And listen, this is their toughest game. I think Purdue is going to be one of the two toughest games coming down this home stretch. Purdue was very banged up last year. I think if they stay healthy, I think they're going to be a lot better. I think this team could even be an 8-4 team. Honestly, this Purdue Boilermaker team. I think they have a very good head coach, Jeff Brom. And hopefully they can stay healthy, unlike last year when they went, I think 5-7. I want to say. I mean, I do think they have a good home field advantage as well. I really do. I gave you guys the loss in this one for the purposes of this video. I mean, you guys could go 11-1 with a loss against Notre Dame, honestly. But for the purposes of this video because the goal is to get the records correct, not to get the game by games correct. I think you're losing on the road against Purdue. I think it's a very close game either way, but I think I'm going to give you guys a loss in this one and the upset. I mean, you guys are going to be a top 5 team at that point. It's going to be a big time win for Purdue, maybe even bigger than the Ohio State game. Next game, Nebraska. You guys are going to be coming off a loss. I do think you guys will be angry coming off the loss. I think you guys want to have a very good showing against Nebraska. If you look at Nebraska's schedule, they're going to be very beat up by now. Their first half of the schedule is soft, and their second half of the schedule is a nightmare. So I think you guys beat Nebraska pretty easily, probably by about 3 to 4 touchdowns, honestly. I don't think this game's going to be really that close. Give me the Badgers over the Huskers, over the Cornhuskers. Next game, at Iowa. This is a game I'm very interested in because Iowa, you can never count them out of the Big Ten West equation. Kirk Ferentz, I think, is a terrific head coach. I think he knows exactly what he's doing. It's on the road for you guys. I know you guys kind of usually win the game every year against Iowa. It's on the road. Iowa could be, I mean, this could be for the Big Ten West Championship spot. It really could. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I think Minnesota's ahead of Iowa. I think Wisconsin's ahead of Iowa. But you never know with Iowa. I gave you guys a loss. And the reason why I gave you guys a loss is because I think Iowa's going to be someone big this year, and I think this is the game they do it, the final game of the season during rivalry week, even though the real rival in that spot should be Minnesota. So we'll see what happens. But overall, if you count up all the wins and losses, I had the Wisconsin Badgers going 10-2 with a 7-2 conference record. 10-2 with a 7-2 conference record. I think you guys go 10-2 no matter what this year. I know the 2 losses I predicted are probably not the 2 losses Wisconsin fans want to lose to, and probably not the 2 games they'll probably much rather lose to a Notre Dame and then someone in the conference. But I think 10-2, 7-2 conference record, I think is what Wisconsin's going to be doing. I think the 2 games they lose are going to be in the conference because I do think you guys will beat Notre Dame. But anyways, those are my Wisconsin football predictions. Comment down below. Tell me your Wisconsin football predictions. I always like hearing from y'all. Thanks for watching. Hit the thumbs up button. Please subscribe to the channel. Texas football predictions on Friday. And then Saturday, Cincinnati football predictions. And then I'll let you guys know the schedule next week. I already know 4 of the teams. I'm trying to figure out 5th team. Probably from the Pac-12 that 5th team is going to be because we're doing 2 from the SEC next week. But anyways, thanks for watching. McD the Beast signing off.